Morning fishing friends, how you doing? Thought I'd come down for a bit of a prospect this morning and bring you with me. So I'm down here on the beach. I'm traveling really light. I've just got one light beach rod. I've got all my gear in my side bag. Got a few worms in my pouch here. I'm just going to do a bit of prospecting, and as I go I'm going to explain to you what I'm doing and basically narrate while I'm fishing. And we're going to walk along the beach. Might cover about 1 kilometre or so, and I'm going to cast in different spots and talk to you about it while I do it, and I'm going to explain my rig, my setup, what bait I'm using, and hopefully this will be really helpful for you. I haven't fished this beach for several months, so I've just come down here cold. I don't know what's biting, what fish are here, but I expect to catch fish. And it's not early in the morning, so I'm not getting up at the crack of dawn. Just come down here at gentleman's hour, so I'm just going to walk down over here. Directly in front of me, it's pretty shallow. There's a sandbar here. There's not much depth of water. I can actually see that there's just a very skinny sort of gutter close to shore here. The water looks like it could be maybe 1 to 1.5 metres deep. What I'll probably do is I'm going to have a cast here, even though it's pretty shallow, maybe 1 metre or so deep. There could be a few fish snipping in there, so the only way you can find out really is by testing. So I'm actually fishing with 2 baits today. Oops, there comes a rogue dog. Don't want to catch him. What I'm doing today is I'm fishing with 2 different baits. I've got a 2-hook rig, and I've got a couple of worms here. So I'm fishing with a worm bait, and then also I'm fishing with a pilchard bait as well. Actually, wrong one. So my top hook is a long shank hook, and I'm going to put a worm on there. He's a little bit wriggly, this guy, but he won't be wriggly very soon. I'm going to put plenty of worm on because I don't want to have a small bait. So I'm actually threading that. You can see I've actually threaded that bait past the hook up the line, and I'm going to break it off about there. So that's my worm bait. Then I've got some pilchards. They're going to get those. I'm using a 2-hook rig, just like on the world's deadliest rig, but I'm not using a wire trace in this case because I don't really expect to catch tailor at this time of the day. So I'm taking a calculated risk with this lower rig because I really expect that I might catch a brim or a salmon or a flathead or something. I'm going to put a half hitch around the top of the pilchard to hold it in place, and I've got 2 hooks. You can't really see that little stinger hook that's in there. You can see the little barb, and then I've got my other hook in there. So I've got my 2 hooks. So basically I've got a pilchard bait. You can see both of those baits. This is what I call a mixed grill. I don't know if any of you are familiar with a mixed grill. That's what you used to get at breakfast time sometimes. You get a sausage, bacon and a lamb chop. So this is a mixed grill for fish. So we'll just see if there's anything in this shallow water. I'm not casting very far. Really just there's a very small trough just here. Yeah, that's about where I want to be. And now we're going to see if there's anything we're still going to see if there's anything sniffing around in there. This is kind of fun because my purpose is actually, I'm going to fish my way along this beach. I'm not going to stay in any one particular spot for a long time if I don't get any bites. So I'm just going to test this little bit here. Then there's a deeper section. There's a deeper section just down the beach. So if I don't get any bites here, I'm going to walk down there and have a cast. The water temperature doesn't feel too bad. It's not all that freezing on my legs. Today is, I think today's the 14th of October. And no nibbles as yet. I can see something in the, oh, it's a school of fish. I could see, I was just looking, I could see a dark patch over there, and I thought, is that seaweed or is that a school of fish? But I can't see any seaweed on the beach, and I just saw a fish leap out of the water, so I'm going to put my line in and cast it over there. Yeah, I saw this dark patch. I thought, hang on, what is that? And it's actually fish. It just goes to show you, you know, keep your eyes open and have a look. So now I've just cast my line into the middle of where that school of fish is. Let's just see if they bite. It's definitely a school of fish out there. Yep. Oh, whoa. Woohoo. Okay, so what I've just done, and look, you know, this obviously doesn't happen all the time, but I've seen a different colour in the water, a slightly darker patch. And I thought, man, I don't think it's weed. It could be fish. And it is fish. And I know what it is. It's a salmon. Oh, there he goes. But my wife was saying that she'd like to make some more Thai fish cakes. So this will be perfect. Whoops. Whoa, he's giving me a little bit of curry, this guy. Man, he's taking some line. Salmon are great fighters. I'm going to have to, I'm only fishing with relatively light lines, so I'm going to have to wait till I get a wave to bring him in. I actually would like to cast out into those school of fish again. All right, this is a possibility to get him in now. Whoa! See this wave coming? I'm going to see if I can get him in with this wave. No, he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to come in. Maybe the next wave I'll get him. He's pretty close. Woo! Man, this guy's going crazy. Here we go. Come on. Man, I still got to be gentle with this guy. When you get fish in this zone right on the beach, you've got to be careful because you can easily lose them. Man, this guy's fat. Look at the size of this guy. Man, he's a fat fish. I can barely get I actually can't even get my hand around him. That is a fat salmon. Whew. No wonder he was hard to pull in. He's such a fat fish. Well, I'm happy about that. Yes, I know it's only a salmon. However, I'm going to bleed him. I don't really want to make a mess of my bag, but I'm going to bleed him because I want to eat him. Okay, so I've just broken his neck. I was anticipating catching some fish, so I don't want to make a mess of my bag, so I brought one of these. So while I'm bleeding him, at least hopefully it won't get on all my gear. That is such a fat fish. All right. I want to get my line back in the water. So you, actually, I don't want to squash my bait. I've got my little pillies which I've already cut up in halves. I'm going to put them back in this little side section. And then I'll get this guy. Put in my side bag. Alright, so just going to check my baits. My worm bait didn't get touched, which is okay. So in that case, that salmon took the pilchard. Now I'm just looking because I want to see if I can see that school of fish again. I can't actually see that shadow in the water anymore, so that school of fish has moved on. I'm not necessarily going to hang here all that long. Because they may have moved right out the back somewhere. So, all right. Look, I'm just going to have a bit of a speculator cast because there's a sandbar out the back. Still not mega deep water here. I'm going to toss it out a little bit further towards where that sandbar drops off. See if anything's out there, but I've got to walk down a bit closer to be able to reach it. Haven't got a massively big sinker and relatively light line, so we'll just see if we get anything out there. Still, that wasn't bad. Wasn't bad for my second cast. Hang on, I'm getting a bite. Yep, getting a bite. Just waiting to see what's happening. Hang on. Yep. Oh, got it again. Woo! Wow. Look at this. There's a look. Oh man. I wonder what happened then. That was actually really heavy. I've lost. What have I? Fair dinkum. I've lost the bottom half of my rig. Sheesh. Look at that. I've actually. If you want to have a look at my. The line is actually broken. You can see there's a little tag on the end of the swivel there. That was much bigger than that first salmon. Probably a really big salmon, but wow. Anyway, I'm going to have to re-rig now. I've got no sinker. Wow. Man, that's fresh leader this morning. I'm using a 12-pound fluorocarbon leader. So anyways, I'm going to come up here because I don't want to get this reel in the sand. And wow, man, I'm a little bit surprised at the level of action this morning because I wasn't necessarily, I was expecting to catch fish, but not necessarily that quickly. So the salmon is, oh. See, this is my tackle box. So the extent of my tackle box is that, and oh, not that actually. There's some more leader in there somewhere. Where is it? Yeah, and that. I've got some 12 pound leader. So anyway, sorry about this. I'm just going to have to devote a few moments to rigging up again. Alrighty. I'm thinking I'm going to need about that much. Thankfully I've got sharp teeth, so I usually bite through my line. Where is the end of my line? Oh, there it is, all the way up here. Oh, right next to me. There you go. Alright, so I've still got my worm bait on there. It's interesting. I need a swivel. So, see, look, that's all I got with me is I've got a few hooks, a couple of swivels. Yep, okay, so just going to put that back in there. Man, this is wasting time. I should be having my bait in the water. Still, there's no rush really. Actually, how much have I got there? Not that much, it's too long. Oh, that's alright. So I'm holding my line against my dark coloured bag here so that I can see. And got to get it through that tiny little hole. Yep, no problem. Then need a little bit more of this. Just about a foot. When I cast my line out before, I couldn't actually see the fish like I could previously in the previous cast, but it just goes to show it didn't take long to get a bite, and that was a flippin' heavy fish. It really was. What a bummer. Well, I'm only using 12 pound leader, so I'm going to have to be careful if I hook another big fish. So now what I'm doing is I'm getting one of these 3/0 hooks and one of those. So I'm going to put those two hooks on. Wasn't expecting to lose a rig that quick. But anyways, alright, so I'm going to put the little hook on first. So I'm going that way, putting him on there, then just going to use the same old knot for tying this guy on as I've done with all the other knots. And in this case I've actually twisted it 5 times. All right. I expect the fish will still be there. I really do. I'm going to get you guys, put you in there. That's better, actually. Then you sir can go back in my bag. You're going on there. I've got a whole pilly here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hook. I'm actually going to break the head off and chuck it in the water as a little bit of burley. So that guy's there like that. Then I'm going to slide this hook down. The little guy, I'll put it in one side and pin it through. Then I'm going to do my half hitch around the tail. Oh, look at that. There's a little stick on the ground. I got caught on the stick. Alrighty. Now my worm bait's up pretty high, but I could make that a bit shorter, but it's okay. Alright, that's gonna start again. That was interesting. I was liking the water down the beach better than this water. It's not that deep just here. It looks quite good down there. But you can, hang on, I'm getting a bite already. What's going on? Something was going on then. Yeah. What's happening? Going on? Yep, yeah, something's going on. I'm just waiting. Yeah, whoa. Obviously I struck fairly hard then because there was a little bit of a bow, a bit of slack in the line. Oh my gosh! Well, this is, it's Salmon City. Wow. I mean, in each case, my bait's in the water like how long? Not very long. I'm going to keep a couple of these because... Whoa, there he goes. I made some Thai fish cakes a few weeks ago. They were fantastic. So this guy's taken the pilchard again. Okay, let's see if I can get him up with this wave. No, not quite. And I'm not gonna push it because this is light line. Oh man. Whew. This is like sports fishing. Come on, man. I don't really want to get too wet. They're actually pretty good sized salmon. Okay, see if we can get in this time. Oh, no, he doesn't want it. Yeah, get him up here. Come on, you. Back down again. Okay, come in this time. Listen, come on. Oh. You can see I don't want to force it too hard because, seriously, oh, I'm going to get wet. So hopefully this time. Yeah, I think we're good this time. Another little wave coming. These are similar size to the last one. Whoa, hang on. What the heck? Yeah, that's better. I've actually hooked him. the keeper hook's got him in the fin. No wonder that was so weird. Look at that. I've got him hooked in the fin. That little bit of weight was too much for that 12-pound leader. So I think he's still got a hook in his mouth, and there's my other little hook. Okay, so what's the lesson I'm learning here? I probably should up my leader to probably say 15 pound. I was probably thinking I was going to get more whiting or brim, but anyways, we'll just deal with this guy and then start again. So you can see that what I'm doing is not really complex. It's pretty easy. I'm using some store-bought Pilchards. I've got some worms. So far, I haven't had a bite on the worm yet, interestingly enough. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to get a bite on the worm. I'm going to put that down on the plastic bag and I wonder where the hook is. Actually, it's still in his mouth. You can see there's that other hook. So I haven't, oops, there's that other hook there. Just kneel down and get that. So that was so funny because this little hook was in his dorsal fin. Oh, thank you. He spat it out. All right. I'm going to leave him there for a minute. Let him bleed out a little bit. Oh, there it is. Okay. Put that in there. And then I'm going to start again. Alrighty. So I'm going to have to retie that leader. Oh, empty packet. Alright, what have I got in here? I do have a rain jacket. In case the weather looked a little bit sus, I didn't really want to get wet. Well guys, I would like to be giving you a little bit more lessons about reading the beach and walking along the beach and casting in different spots, but I really have only moved about 10 metres from when I first got here, so put those hooks just there. So haven't been along the beach very far at all, but I will. I'd like to try down the beach a bit. That line in this leader, that line parted because of the sharpness of the fish's dorsal fin. It was rubbing up against that fin, so the leader broke in the middle. Because you can see there's a little bit of line left on this hook. That's actually a 3/0 hook, that one. Just biting the tag off. And then now I'm going to put it over here so I can see it and repeat the process. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Through the hole, back, uh-oh. Do that again. Through the hole, Back through the other hole. Alright, what happened there? Try again. It's not cold, a little bit of a breeze, but I think I'm going to have one more cast here. And then I'm going to move to a different spot, because I have a feeling that the same thing's going to happen again. So this method works quite well, but it is important to put the half hitch around the top of the bait, because it actually holds everything in place. By putting that half hitch around there, that really holds it together much better. Alrighty. These are really fat fish. They're awesome. There'll be a lot of meat on that. Put that between my legs. Go like that. You can see in there, look at those guys. They're pretty chunky. Only thing is that my bag's going to start getting heavy. Oh well, there could be much worse problems than having a heavy fishing bag. Oh, all right. Here we go again. All right, one more time here, and then we're going to go down there. Oh, my drag's a little bit light there. Now, just before I cast out, this is my light fishing outfit. It's a 10-foot beach rod. Really, it's the sort of rod that I use for brim and whiting mainly. This is actually a Shimano Maikuro 2. And this is a Nasci 5000 spinning reel, and I have 15-pound line on the actual reel, mono. And then, as you know, my leader is 12-pound fluoro. So let's see what happens. My board shorts started getting wet, so I don't want to get wet too much. When it's summertime, I don't care. I'll wade out and get wet. It doesn't bother me. All right, so I've cast right out towards the drop-off of that sandbank, because there's a sandbank out there with just a moderate sort of a gutter or hole. Just the waves are, you can actually see the sand churning up on the sandbar there, in between the waves. Hang on, what's going on? Am I getting a bite? Yep, I'm getting a bite. Now, is something going to take my worm? So there's just a couple of some soft, just really soft little bites there. What's going on? All right. Oh man, there's some weight in that. Flip. Sugar. There's a lot of weight in that. That feels heavy, like that one that bust my line off. I'm going to have to take it a bit gentle with this. How's my drag? Yeah. You know, when you're fishing with a light setup like this, it kind of makes it a little bit more in the fish's favour. Now, when I've done this before, using two baits like I am, I've actually caught two salmon at once. That's pretty hectic when you get two salmon at once. So I haven't seen this guy yet, but he's tracking down the beach a bit. Oh, there he is. Yep, he's taken the pilchard again. Wow, there you go. Well, got him right near the shore here, but I'm a little bit hesitant to try and pull him up. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, here comes a wave. Whoa, sugar. Wow. Well, I'm not going to cast out here again. Certainly no shortage of action. Oh, man, I think he's stretching that 12-pound leader to the limit. You can see that worm hanging up there on the top hook. I'm actually going to shorten that center section of the rig. It's a little bit too long. Here we go. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, up you come. Yeah, I think I got him up this time. Uh-oh. There we go. Yep. All right. Similar size, not as fat as that first one. Actually, look. Oops. He swallowed those hooks right down, this guy. So this time, I'm not going to throw out there anymore because I keep getting the same result. And we're going to go for a wander down the beach. I'll put my line on there. Actually, I need to get my knife out. It's hiding in here somewhere. Where is that knife? There it is. So, I'm just going to deal with this guy. I might actually see if I can get the hooks out before I... Okay, so you can see. Wow, look at that. You can see the keeper hook, but the main hook is right down his throat. All right, this may be a little bit messy, but okay. So I need to extract that other hook. It's a bit of an operation. So there's my keeper hook. Man, let's see if I can feel that main hook. Goodness me. Gosh, he swallowed it. Oh, hang on, there it is. I can feel it in there. Just got to make sure I'm holding it the right way. I don't want to get myself spiked. But I've got it. Yep, there it is. See, I've freed that hook up. Should be able to just pull it out. See that other little one? Yep, there you go. Excellent. So, just a quick recap. What time is it now? It's 10 o'clock. So it's 10 a.m. and I already have sufficient fish to make a decent batch of delicious fish cakes. So, although you could eat them, you don't have to just make them into fish cakes. Because I like eating the salmon with a beer batter. Oh man, he just flicks sand in my eyes. Use. Okay, there must be a lot of salmon out there. Oh, how am I going to do this? I've got to put my rod between my legs because I don't want to get it in the sand. And I've got quite a few kilos of salmon here. In you go. Now we are going to go for a little wander. We're going to move to a different spot. We'll see what happens when we move to a different spot. Okay, let's do it. Now you can see where I've been fishing here, it's not all that deep, but there's sufficient depth. You can see there's a little bit of green water along the edge, and then directly behind the green water you can see the yellow sand that's been stirred up by the waves. So that's been washed over the edge into this little trop. That's why I thought it was worth a cast. And then, of course, I saw that dark patch, which was really, that dark patch was really more of a grey colour. It wasn't really the browny colour of seaweed. So that's what made me think, you know, that could be fish, and it was. Put this over my head. That's better. Got to get some bait happening. So there's a bit of a deeper, definitely a deeper gutter that's heading out to sea just down here. So you've got some quite deep water close to the shore. So we're just going to walk down there and have a couple of casts there. See how we go. Certainly on this part of the coast, salmon are quite prolific. And you can see that those fish that I've caught are super healthy. They are like, uh-oh, watch out. I reckon that you get a lot of dolphins around here, and I reckon the dolphins feed on salmon. So, alright, so you can see it's much deeper. There's a fair bit of water movement out there. It looks to me like there's a current going from left to right. Actually looks a bit better down there, because if I cast my line in just here now, I'm not sure if you can notice, but you can actually see the bits of white water on top moving from the left to the right. So if that's moving this way, you're going to have a current in there, so potentially when you throw your bait in, it's going to get dragged across. Actually looks pretty good down there, but look, let's give it a go here. Let's toss a line out here. There's a little bit of swell today. It just goes to show. It's pretty good. So I am predicting that when I throw this out, it's going to go whooshka like that. But might be in there long enough to get a fish. All right, so I'm not very far out. Maybe 30 metres or so. Just going to check that drag. Let's see what happens. I'm going to walk with it because I can feel the drag going that way. That was a good thing about that other spot up there. The reason that the water is dragging this way is because all of the waves breaking on that sandbar there, all of that water is pushing in and funneling out that way. So there's got to be an escape route for that water to go. So that's why that action is happening. The further I get to the right, that movement of water will cease. There's quite a strong shore dump here. All right, I haven't had any bites yet. So that's something to take note at this point. If we look back up the beach, you can see that it obviously looks a lot shallower. You can see where all those waves are breaking. And where I caught those 3 salmon was probably about 80 metres up there. Whereas where I am here, it's much deeper. It's a much deeper hole close to shore. And so far I haven't had a bite. My line isn't moving too much right now because the star sinkers are pretty good. It's not a huge star sinker. I think it's about 40 grams. That doesn't look too bad just down there because you've got a bit of nice green water and there's lots of white water around it. So I'd say what's happening is the salmon are chasing bait fish in amongst the white water, because there was quite a large school up there. Now my line's actually just been washed in a little bit, but that's okay. See, this is all part of learning when you're down the beach and not just being one-dimensional. Casting in different places, different spots, so that you can get a feel for how it works. You don't know, this could be good here, but this could be good here in this spot, but so far, I think we're going to go back. I'm not going to have a second cast here. I'm going to walk down to that next little spot. Hang on. What was that? I am getting a bite now. It's swimming towards me. Oh. I've got a fish. Naughty sandbar. Okay. Well then, I've hooked another fish. It took a little bit longer in this spot, but what I've noticed is that I cast my line out over there and it drifted to the right and it actually came in a bit closer to shore, and that's where I got that bite, was a little bit closer to shore. Well, it's challenging to land fish when you've got such a big movement of water, because as you can see, when the wave draws back, there's a lot of power pulling out that way, and if you try and pull a fish against it, it's just too much strain. So we really need to try and tire the fish out a little bit and then use the momentum of a wave to bring it in. So this guy's still a little bit green, although he's in the white water now, so I think I've got a good chance of getting him up right now, get him up here. And I'll use this wave to get him up. All right. Look, I'll just hold that so he can't get away. Alrighty. Wow, he swallowed it as well. Now, I'll bring him up here. I'd just like to make a point. You can see that today I've deliberately fished with two different baits on my line. Every single bite I've had has been on the pilchard and not on the worm. So that really shows you the value of doing this sort of thing where you actually mix it up and have two different baits on a rig, because one might work better than the other. And that's obviously what's happened. They have amazing, beautiful colours on them. Look how much meat is in this fish. So much meat. Look at that. You can see if I hold him like this. Oops, he's wanting to have a bit of a wriggle, but you can see how broad he is across the shoulders and how much meat there is there. So you really get a lot of yield off a fish like this. So how far has he swallowed the hooks down? That's the question. I mean, I took my time in setting the hook with these guys. All right. So that's why they've actually swallowed it down a fair way, because I waited before I set the hook. Okay. Okay, there's you can see a hook down there. You can see the two hooks actually. So I'm going to get that bottom one first because the little one's not engaged. There you go. Got that out. That last one flicked sand in my eyes, so I've got to be careful. Now my fish carrying capacity is just about getting to limit. I think I'm going to call this session quits because I've got 4 really nice fish. There's obviously lots of salmon here, but at least you've been able to see the rig I've been using, what I've been doing, and what's happened between 9 AM and 10 AM on a Thursday morning. So I will do some more of these sessions. Make sure that you like and subscribe to my channel, and please ask any questions that you want to ask in the comments. Make sure that you check out rogersfishing.com because I have a 15 module beach fishing masterclass course on my website, and I'll see you in the next one of these videos.